Hello everyone, welcome to your revision and knowledge organiser lesson. Today we're going to be going through quickly everything that we've done in this past topic. So make sure you've got your date and title in your book. We're moving on to your first set of examples now. So here are your first examples. Make sure you've got them copied down into your books. Pause the video here if you need to allow everyone to copy it down. So here we need to work out the area of the following shapes. Well, first we need to know what the following shapes are. So this here is a parallelogram, this is a triangle, and this is a trapezium. To work out the area of each of them, we need to know the formula. So here, the formula is equal to base times the height. Here, the area is equal to the base times the height, all divided by 2. And here, the area is equal to your two bases, so base 1 plus base 2 times by the height, all divided by 2. So if we start with this first shape here, so our parallelogram, to work out the area of this shape, we're going to be doing area equals 6 times 4, which is equal to 24 centimetres squared. Okay, now the area of this shape here, we are going to be doing the base, which is 8, times our perpendicular height, which is 12, all divided by 2. So we've got 8 times, so we've got 4 times first, 48 centimetres squared. Okay, our next shape, we have a trapezium. So we're going to substitute our values into the formula in order to calculate the area. So the area here is equal to our two bases, so our parallel bases. These are our parallel, they never meet. So we've got 3 add 9 times by the perpendicular height. Our right angles are here and here. And then all of that is going to be divided by 2. So we're going to simplify that as we go. So we've got 12 times 4, all divided by 2. So we've got 24 centimetres squared. Okay? Make sure you've got that copied down into your books. Okay, so our next set of examples are compound shapes. So we need to find the area of these compound shapes here. So we don't have a single formula to work out the area of each of these shapes. So we need to break it down into shapes that we do know. So first we're going to break this one down here. So this is the first example. Make sure you've got this one copied down. So you've got 1 and 2. So we're going to split this shape into 2. I've decided to split it vertically. You could have split it horizontally, but I've gone with vertical. So this is going to be shape 1 and this is going to be shape 2. So to calculate the area of shape 1, we need to work out this missing length here. So we've got 4 times something. We know that the whole length needs to be 11 and this little section here is 2. So we're going to do, so this section here is 11, take 2, which is equal to 9. So we've got 4 times 9 for our first shape, which is 36 centimetres squared. And then for our second shape, we've got 2 times 6, which is equal to 12 centimetres squared. And then we're going to add them together to give us 48 centimetres squared as our total area. So area is 48 centimetres squared. Okay, for this next one then, there's a couple of ways to do this. So we can either work it out as though we're working out the area of a trapezium, or we can do it doing as a rectangle and a triangle. So if we're doing this as a rectangle and a triangle, this is shape 1 and this is shape 2. So shape 1, you need to do 5 times 6, which is equal to 30 centimetres squared. Okay, and our rectangle is a right-angled rectangle. Our triangle, sorry, is a right-angled triangle. So the base and the height are perpendicular. So we know that this length here is the same as this length here. So this side is 5 and this side is 5. So the area of our triangle is going to be the base times the height divided by 2. So we've got 5 times 5 divided by 2, which is 12.5 centimetres squared. And then we're going to add those together to give us 42.5 centimetres squared. Now you could have worked that out as a trapezium instead, by working out the length of the whole base. So if we knew that this was 6 and then we knew that this was 5, could have done 6 add 11 times by 5 then divided by 2 to get you the same answer. So just to show you that, so if you did it as a trapezium, the area was equal 6 add 11 times by 5 all over 2, and then we would get the same answer here. Okay, now moving on to your next examples. So pause the video if you need to. Find the circumference of the circle and find the area of the circle. So the formula for the circumference of a circle is pi times diameter. The formula for the area is pi r squared. So we're finding the circumference of the circle here. So we're going to be doing pi times 4. The diameter here is equal to 4. So our diameter in total is equal to 4 pi. So 4 pi centimetres if you're leaving that in terms of pi. If you're not leaving that in terms of pi and you're rounding it to 2 decimal places, you're going to type that into your calculator or times it by 3.14, giving you a diameter equal to 12.57 centimetres to 2 decimal places. Okay. This next question then, here we don't have the diameter and we need the diameter. So here we've been given the radius, which is equal to 5. We need to work out what the diameter is first. The diameter is double the radius, so the diameter here is going to be 10. So to calculate the circumference of this circle, we're going to be doing pi times 10, which is 10 pi centimetres. Or if we're calculating it to 2 decimal places, it's going to be 10 times pi, which is equal to 31.42 to 2 centimetres to 2 decimal places. So that's for the circumference. For the area then, we're going to be doing pi times r squared. So we're leaving it in terms of pi. We're going to be doing the area equals pi times 5 squared, which is the radius. So here the radius is equal to 5. So the area is equal to 25 pi centimetres squared. Or we can put it to 2 decimal places, giving us 78.54 centimetres squared. For this next question then, here we've been given the diameter, which is the full length. Of 4, we need to work out the radius, which is half the diameter. So here the radius is 2. So the area of our circle this time is going to be pi times 2 squared. I can just rewrite that. So here it's going to be 4 pi. If we're calculating that to 2 decimal places, we are going to be getting 12.57 centimetres squared to 2 decimal places. Okay. So you can either leave that in terms of pi or put it in 2 decimal places, depending on what the question asks for. Sometimes it will ask for both, sometimes it will just ask for one. You need to be able to do both, okay? If you haven't got a scientific calculator, use that pi is equal to 3.14. You should be using a scientific calculator though, instead. Okay, so moving on to your next example. Find the volume and the surface area of this cuboid here. So the volume is quite straightforward. Work out the area of the face and times it by the length. So volume is equal to the area of this cuboid, so 5 times 3, and then we're timesing that by 3. So 15 times 3 is equal to 45 centimetres cubed. Okay, now to find the surface area, which is slightly different, we need to find the area of each of the faces and add them together. Now remember, it's got a top and a bottom, 2 sides, and a front and a back. So you've got your front, which is 5 times 3. You've got your back, which is also 5 times 3. So we've got 15 there. Oh. And then we've got our 2 sides, okay, which is equal to 3 times 3. Now I'm going to times that by 2 because we've got 2 sides. So we've got 18 there. And then we've got our top and bottom. So the top is equal to 5 times 3, and our bottom is also equal to 5 times 3. So we've got, so equals 15, equals 15. We need to add all of these together, so we're going to get 78 centimetres squared. Okay, so our surface area is 78 centimetres squared when we've added all of those up. Moving on to your next example then, so volume of a prism. Make sure you've got everything copied down. So here we're going to find the volume of a prism. So you need to find the area of the cross section and times it by the length. So here our cross section is a triangle, so we need to know the area of a triangle, which is equal to base times height divided by 2. So here we're going to be doing 5 times 4 divided by 2. So 10 centimetres squared, and then our volume is equal to 10 times 10, giving us 100 centimetres cubed. Okay, so that's how we find the volume of a prism. Times by the area of the cross section by the length. So the area of the cross section times the length. So here we're using Pythagoras Theorem to find our missing sides. Here we're finding the hypotenuse, which is the longest side, so we need to square these 2 sides, add them together, and then square root the answer. Remember, Pythagoras' theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c squared is the longest side. So 8 squared plus 5 squared is equal to 89. And we need to find, so x squared equals 89. To find x, we're going to square root, so x is equal to 9.43 to 2 decimal places. This time we need to find the shorter side, so it's c squared subtract b squared equals a squared. So this is c, this is b, this is a. So 7 squared subtract 5 squared is equal to 24. So now we need to, so that means x squared is equal to 24. We need to find the value of x, so we're going to square root. So x is equal to 4.8 9 to 2 decimal places.